In the heart of a quiet suburban town, life unfolded with predictable normalcy. Children raced bicycles down winding streets. Neighbors exchanged polite greetings, and families gathered for dinners in the soft glow of porch lights. But behind the walls of one house on Maple Drive, a chilling clock was ticking. A countdown, not to a birthday, not to a celebration, but to something darker, something fatal. This is the story of Daniel Cross and his wife Laura, a marriage that on the surface seemed flawless, but in reality concealed secrets, obsession, and ultimately murder. Daniel was known in the community as a man of influence. He was successful, articulate, and carried himself with the quiet confidence of someone who had built the perfect life. His business flourished, his house stood immaculate, and his family portrait was painted in glowing colors. But appearances can deceive. Beneath Daniel's polished exterior was a man plagued by paranoia and consumed by control. Laura, his wife, was the opposite. Warm, kind, and beloved by friends, she was the soul of every gathering. Yet even as she smiled, Laura began whispering to close confidants that something wasn't right at home. Daniel was becoming increasingly possessive. He tracked her movements, questioned her conversations, and grew suspicious over the smallest details. What should have been a partnership was slowly turning into surveillance. Then, one evening, the first note appeared. It was simple, just a single sheet of paper, slid on the front door. Written on it was a bold black number, 10. Laura was unsettled but dismissed it as a childish prank. Yet the next day, another note arrived. 9, then another, 8. With each passing day, the numbers dropped lower. What began as unsettling soon became terrifying. By the time the notes reached 5, Laura confided in her sister. She explained how she felt hunted, how these messages were eating away at her peace of mind. Her sister urged her to go to the police, but Laura hesitated. After all, what could she show them? Sheets of paper with numbers on them? To anyone else, they were cryptic at best. To Laura, they were a warning she could not ignore. The countdown crept forward. 4, slipped under her car windshield. 3, left on her pillow. 2, discovered inside her purse, though she swore she never left it unattended. Each message seemed to follow her more closely, as though the sender wasn't just near, but inside her world. Whoever was leaving them knew her schedule, her habits, her vulnerabilities. Fear consumed her daily life. She changed the locks, installed cameras, altered her routes. But the notes never stopped. Then came the final message. This time, it wasn't just a number. On the white sheet, written in red ink, was the bold number 1. And beneath it, 2 chilling words. Time's up. That night, neighbors remembered nothing unusual. No screams, no sounds of struggle, only silence. But when morning came, horror was revealed. Laura was found dead in her bedroom. There was no forced entry, no valuables missing. The house was untouched, as if the killer had walked in with a key. Investigators were baffled. Who could have been so close, so trusted, that they could commit this crime without leaving a trace? The answer soon pointed back to Daniel. On the outside, he appeared devastated. His voice cracking in interviews, his posture slumped in grief. But detectives digging deeper uncovered a darker reality. Daniel's emails revealed obsessive accusations. His phone contained drafts of unsent messages filled with jealousy and paranoia. And then came the damning discovery. Surveillance footage captured Daniel himself placing one of the numbered notes on Laura's car. The so-called countdown was not the work of a mysterious stalker. It was Daniel all along. Prosecutors later argued that the countdown was Daniel's twisted form of psychological torture. It wasn't enough for him to end Laura's life. He wanted her to live in dread, every day, knowing that something inevitable was coming. He turned time into a weapon, counting down not the days of his marriage, but the days of her freedom. At trial, the jury listened to chilling testimony about Daniel's control, his obsession, and his final act of cruelty. When the verdict was read, it came swiftly, guilty of first-degree murder. Daniel Cross was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Yet Laura's story continues to haunt those who knew her. Friends ask themselves, could her death have been prevented if her warnings were taken more seriously? Could she have been saved if the notes were seen as the threat they truly were? The final countdown wasn't just a murder. It was a calculated display of control, a grim reminder that sometimes the most dangerous threats are not strangers in the dark, but the people we trust the most. So, the next time you hear of a countdown, think carefully. Is it counting down to joy, or could it be marking the slow approach of something far more sinister? What do you think drove Daniel to create this terrifying countdown? Comment your theories below, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly true crime updates.